Love in America is brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source.
The Gold and Diamond Source has been in business for nearly 4 decades and is one of the largest family-owned jewelry stores in America.
We have the largest selection of white and fancy colored diamonds and gemstones you'll find anywhere.
We also have private areas for VIP viewings.
Only at the Gold and Diamond Source.
Everyone has a story to tell. It's my mission to tell it. Unscripted, unedited. We are on the record.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sarina Fazan, and thank you so much for joining us. Oh, boy, my favorite show, Love in America, and today it's so special because also, okay, I have to say on the record, my favorite couple, Julie and Steve Weintraub, the sponsors of Gold and Diamond Source. Oh, my gosh. I can't believe you guys are actually sitting here in the studio. Finally.
We are here. Finally, we both got here at the same time.
We've been looking forward to this, so we're excited.
Guys, firstly, I have to thank you from the bottom of my heart for sponsoring my show. Can you talk about that?
Well, Love in America, it's like a perfect fit. We've known each other for years. You're like, I think you've won how many Emmys? 4 Emmys. You're like a rock star in the, TV business and been a news anchor, and we've done a lot of stories together.
And you were Dancing with the Stars.
I was dancing with the stars with you guys.
Yeah, and you having your own show, Love in America. It's a perfect fit for Gold and Diamond Source to sponsor your show.
Well, I have to say, it was my dream, right, to get this show sponsored, and I'm horrible at sales coming from the news background.
It's not easy. I'm not good with that either. Like, I have a charity. I'm supposed to ask people for money, and I'm like, can I just work harder and just make it myself? But I get you.
But I did come out of my comfort zone because of how kind the both of you are, and probably for the first time and the only time in this part of my career will I ask for a sponsorship, and you guys said yes, so I can't.
Well, we're happy to, privileged to, and it's a perfect fit, we thought.
Yeah, and we want to support. I believe in people supporting each other. You always remember the people that help you when you're just getting going with your new project or something, and we wanted to make sure that we pitched in and helped you a little bit, and it's a good fit, and you're doing great. So
it really wasn't a difficult decision.
Oh, you guys, no, thank you so much. And boy, saying that, honestly, I'll never forget the story though, because I never imagined I'd go into entrepreneurship, right?
Yep.
But when you and Steve said to me, "Do not give up. You just have to keep on going." And we had you guys admitted, we had scary moments too. And we tried different things. And now, seriously, the Gold and Diamond Source, so proud of you guys.
We're setting records.
Well, thank you. Our business has exploded these the last 15 years, ever since we got together. Of course, Julie takes a big credit for that, but we've been blessed, really. Our business has flourished during the very difficult times, during the real estate crash of 2007, 2009, and recently the COVID. We've experienced 2 of the best years of our 40-year history. Last 2 years.
Crazy, yeah.
Congratulations.
And people ask me all the time, why? Why do you think that? The only thing I can think is that people weren't traveling, and they wanted to express their love to people that they were with. And usually you do that with a trip, and people had extra money apparently. So we've probably we've sold more engagement rings these last 2 years than we have in our history.
Really?
Speaking of Love in America, I think people either decided like, hey, this is great, I really value this person and we are a great fit, or they were like, this is not good, and they went the other direction and realized it wasn't a good fit. But I think more people really had a whole new appreciation for their partner in life, and if they weren't engaged or married, they got engaged, or they upgraded their ring just to show their extra love and appreciation for their partner. So it's been a beautiful thing to see.
I have to say, COVID, of course, took all of us by surprise, unprecedented time. But it was, I do feel, as you both commented, a reset on family and love, right, Steve?
It definitely was. People really took a look at what's important in their lives, and some of the things they thought were important turned out not to be that important, in our lives too. We purchased a home out in Park City, Utah, which we swore we'd never do.
Yes.
And we love it. It was probably one of the best decisions we made. We sold our big house on the water. We raised all 5 of our kids there.
Wow.
Had it 31 years, but it was time to move on. Difficult to do, moved into a high-rise condo in downtown St. Pete, which we said we'd never do.
Yeah.
And we love it. And then purchased a home outside of Florida, which we said we'd never do that either. But we love it. I mean, we just, our lives have, we've been blessed these last couple of years.
Well, you guys, though, you're so humble and modest because when you say you're blessed, you've given so many blessings to so many people, including myself, as we talked about. I can't wait to get to your love story, but even before we do that, I mean, all the work you've done with Hands Across the Bay and the other charities, why do you think that's so important, especially in your position, to be able?
Well, I don't know. I think everybody should. The community supports your company or your business, so you want to be a good steward of your community. You want to give back to your community. We all share this world. So it's not just about us and how much money we can make and hoard. And I mean, I want to bring up the standard of living for all of us and all of our staff and our community. So if we're doing well, then and I see somebody struggling, I naturally want to help them. I mean, we all share a grocery store together. Our kids are going to go to school together. It is our business how healthy other families are and if they're doing okay. And we've had everything and we've had nothing, so we know what it's like to struggle, and we know what it's like to have someone that will say, hey, let me help you, give you a hand up to help take care of that. As long as a person's trying the best that they can, I think it makes a big difference. So when businesses say, oh, I can't donate because we can't afford to, I just want to say you can't afford not to. And, I do believe in the law of attraction and karma, and whatever we give, we seem to get back tenfold. We don't do it with that in mind, but for us, it's been a blessing. We enjoy doing it, and people shop with people and do business with people that they want to do. You can't just open a charity and have an empty shell. There's no phone number to call.
Right.
They don't do any boots on the ground work, but they're like, we have a charity. Get out there and help people, and people can see if it's just a cover for whatever, or you're actually boots on the ground helping other folks in the community that may not be as fortunate as you are at that time.
Julie and Steve, there are so many charities, right, that you could have gone to or helped.
Yeah.
Not only did you have done that, but you created your own.
Yes.
But why this particular one, and why was it so important to you?
Well, I'll just speak to the beginning of this, and then she can expand. But we decided when we got together, me and Julie were friends, and we'll get into that for 9 years.
I know, I can't wait. I promise we are going to get into the love story. I promise.
We were friends for 9 years before we even got together, but we made a decision that we wanted to help, whatever way, because it feels good and it's the right thing to do, and we felt responsible that we should do that. Especially Julie has a heart of gold, and she'll go out of her way to help anybody. Almost to a fault.
I'm working on it.
But our idea was not to start our own foundation, our own charity in the beginning. In fact, we hooked up with another charity, which will go unnamed, and Julie actually was the chairperson of that, and did a big charity event for them, and went very well. And we were contacted on social media by somebody who said you might want to look into this charity and how much they're giving back.
We didn't know what, yeah.
And I said, well, this can't be. So we listen, when you get a warning shot, you got to pay attention because our reputations were on the line. So we checked it out, and it turns out that he was correct, and very little was going to where it was supposed to be going. We were shocked. We were devastated. Absolutely.
And their family members, and they got us all in a room, and they were saying 97 cents of every dollar goes to charity, and it was all below.
Anyhow, and just for those out there who want to give back to the community, all you have to do is, it's great to give back, but question, ask. There's a thing called Charity Checker, right?
Charity Navigator, and also 990. But some smaller organizations may not even be big enough to go on a lot of those. Like we used to be that small. But even if you just look at the 990, you can see how much is going to, payroll and things like that, and how much to actually helping people. Because of Golden Diamond Source, we do have the benefit of Golden Diamond Source pays for our staff to help, Hands Across the Bay. So we're in a better position there, and in the high 90s. But, at least you can take a look. And if 100% of the money raised is going to their son and daughter and cousin and aunt, you're just, it's not a good thing. So they should look at that Charity Navigator and the 990.
But that's why we started our own charity, because we were devastated. It was our reputation on the line. We didn't understand. Me and Julie just don't understand people that would do that. But there are people out there, unfortunately, that make a living raising money for charities, and they have very little goodwill in their heart. And we were shocked. So we said, well, this will never happen to us again. And that's when Hands Across the Bay was formed.
And we found out our friend who took us there got paid $10,000 to bring us in. The whole thing, we were like, oh my God.
It was just so devastating.
It was crazy, yeah.
But anyhow, we decided to form our own charity, and Julie really did the lion's share of the work, certainly, and doing Dancing with the Stars for how many years?
10 years,
It's a production, as you know. And really, now we have so much momentum, and we have benefactors that come every year and donate to our charity, and the work that Julie does speaks for itself. I mean, she's in the courtroom, she's advocating for women or not women, I should say men and women of domestic violence. We've been fortunate enough to have another corporate real estate company build out our building across the street for our Winstar Homes for our donation center. Bobby Gross and David Lesser, very kind, generous people. So we've been blessed. So we now have a donation center. We do groups there. We do all kinds of interesting things for victims, first responders, victims of domestic violence, all kinds of different things. So it's a really good feeling to be able to give back and do the right thing for this community. This community is amazing. People should really be grateful for living in Tampa Bay.
There's a lot of good people giving, so it's nice. It's like a team. It's not just Steve and I. It's like so many people here giving whatever they have, their time, their talent, or their funding, or both.
See, and this is why I also love this show so much, because you learn so many things that you didn't know. Like, I had no idea that this was the reason why you started your charity in the first
I was
place.
like, I just want it to be transparent. We take this money in, and this is what goes out, and have it very transparent and not like what we experienced before. And it wasn't really our reputation. We were just a chair people, but it was more so, I think, for me, that I was working really hard, and we were donating a lot at the time. Our company wasn't as profitable and successful as it was now. It wasn't a great time for our business. So we were donating jewelry and a lot of time, and we didn't have a lot to give at the time, and just to know that it was going to pay relatives of the people, and we couldn't find anyone that they had actually helped was devastating to us. So it wasn't more, it was more their reputation, not ours, but it was like, why are we putting effort into this just so we can appear charitable? I don't really care about that. I want to actually help people.
See, two people with hearts of gold. So we have been talking about the business. We've been talking about what they've been doing. This show, it's an extended show, right? And I know Steve did mention, wow, we were friends for 9 years. Oh my gosh. We need to get to their love story. We will, right after we come back. Stay with us.
Thinking about getting engaged, planning to upgrade your wedding ring, or finally getting that Rolex?
The Gold and Diamond Source can help you in many ways.
You can start a layaway plan for only 10% down and 6 monthly payments.
Take advantage of our 3 to 5 year interest-free financing.
Or you can trade in your old broken jewelry and use it towards a new purchase.
Come to the Gold and Diamond Source and find that perfect gift for the ones that you love.
Gems with Them has allowed us to show you the beautiful birthstones and anniversary stones that make perfect gifts.
And for people born on this month, you have 3 awesome gem choices. So first up, we have pearls. They're super affordable and they go great with everything. Alexandrite, a very rare color change gem that changes its colors depending on what light you're in. Now for moonstones. These gems have a gem phenomena that give it a beautiful blue sheen.
Come to the Gold and Diamond Source or visit us on social media to learn more about birthstones.
We're back on the record. We're talking about fashion, and we're talking about, do they not look fabulous? So debonair, so classy.
I was just saying, I love the suits that you wear too. You had a great designer that made the nice suits. You need to share that with me.
Tahari was one, Kay Unger is another. I know I was trying to bring back suits.
I love it.
To the show. Yeah. I'm like, why not?
It looks nice. There's nothing better than a nice suit on a woman. And this is Norma Kamali. She has great clothing that is amazing. So, but we'll share definitely for sure, because I love your suits are like really sharp and stylish. I'm like, I love those.
This gives me an excuse to wear a suit today.
Yeah,
I know, you look so nice.
Well, when we do our TV commercials, I wear a suit. So I've bought so many suits that sometimes I only wear one time. So anyhow,
It's nice
chance to
to
dress up.
Yeah, and I'm so happy to have you guys dress up
of course.
because we're celebrating you guys. Okay, May 6th, you celebrated 16 years,
16.
right, of marriage.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, and you were friends first?
Yep, for 9 years we were friends before we ended up getting together. And I was married to someone else, and he was married to someone else. And my ex-husband and I had a chain of restaurants together, and I was doing volunteer work for the Humane Society, and I was taking all kinds of foster kittens and animals. My house was like a zoo, and that was kind of like my volunteer work. And I'm like, well, I could do something to help offset the cost of all the volunteer work I'm doing. I'm like, I love jewelry. I'm going to go sell jewelry. So I worked at one of the stores for a while.
At one of his stores?
Yeah, and I remember them questioning me. They're like, you have a chain of restaurants. Why would you work here for $9 an hour? And they thought I was going to open my own jewelry store.
Are we paying you that much?
Yes. And it was really funny. They were very suspicious of me. But I had a great time working there, and we became friends.
You only worked a year, part-time.
I think a year and a half, yeah. And then I ended up leaving, going back to whatever else I was doing.
And you guys were, and he was here. It was
here at the Countryside store. He had 9 locations at the time. And we became friends. And then 9 years later, fast forward 9 years, we both got a divorce within the same year.
You're kidding.
Yes. And anytime one of us would go through a breakup or a hardship in life over the 9 years, we would be each other's listening ear. He would always call me. He's like, oh, this happened.
It was mostly me calling her.
And I'll be like, what did you do now?
Wow.
So I was her dysfunctional friend.
Yes.
She refers me.
Yeah.
But
That's
anyhow,
what it says, yeah.
Towards the end, we met in 1995, and we remained friends, and I'm friends with her former husband.
Yeah.
In fact, I might as well bring this up now. Her former husband is our general manager.
See, but what a great lesson to people. Honestly, I was sharing that with my daughter, Sammy, and she was like, wow, that's fantastic.
Divorce doesn't have to be, you know, like it used to be. I mean, if you treat each other with respect, even if, God forbid, you do go through a divorce, you don't have to ruin that relationship forever, you know, and you're tied, especially if you have children.
Especially if you have children, right, especially if you have children. But, okay, so that is something. Yes, and we talked about that when you and Emily were on the show, so I would encourage people to even go back and watch that show to even gain more insight on...
I think that's why we have so many, like Bravo and A&E and all these different shows want to do a reality show. And we've always just said, no, 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 no. We almost got tricked. We came this close. We were almost at the signing of the contract, but it was supposed to be a business show. But we could tell they started to ask a lot of things, and we had to sign off that everywhere Steve and I go, I haven't really talked about this publicly, they could follow us with cameras.
Wow.
So we almost became like a big national reality show with the Golden Dinosaurs. I know it would be an amazing show. It'd be #1 thing. It would be huge because it's very entertaining what goes on. We have a lot of like beautiful people selling diamonds and the courtroom and the murder cases, and it would be very entertaining. But not everything is about money. And it would have affected all of us and our community a lot. And just to think that anywhere we're sitting there could be a crew of cameras following us. And at the last minute, we just said, we can't do it. But I think a lot of the interest is our family dynamic. My ex-husband, his wife is our CFO.
Well, to take it a step.
But I think you guys should consider, I'm going to say it on the record, record, because you guys are a great example. I'm not going to walk over you, Steve, but on the record, I want you guys to think about all the positive messages.
What positive comes out? Well, when they do reality shows, they're not looking for positive. They're looking
the problem is they're looking for division. They're not looking for positive stuff. I mean, they're looking for excitement, like Johnny Depp, Amber, Heard, type things. And we're just not. We're at the stage of our lives that we just want to have fun. I mean, we just enjoy our lives. We love our clients. We love our business. We love going to work every day and seeing all our children there and the rest of our extended family. To take it one step further, which I think you're aware of, not only is Julie's former husband our general manager, but he met my assistant and CFO there, and they are now married with a child.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding.
No.
Can we get them on Love in America too?
Yeah, I was actually thinking of that. In fact, they are coming to Park City with us. That's how.
Wow. Yeah, we're all doing a family trip, so Adam and Emily will be there with all of their parents, their stepdad who helped raise them, and their father. Their mother and their stepmother. It's funny, you don't realize how weird it is. Yesterday we had our eldest son has 2 kids, so our grandkids, Kyle and Preston, and we had Charlie, who was my ex-husband's little girl with his new wife. So we had the 3 of them going around, and people in the elevator were like, who are the kids? And my grandkids, and I'm like, how do I say, like, this is my ex-husband's child? So I'm like, I'm her grandma. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm only 49. Oh, I'm 50 now. And I'm like, I don't want to keep saying I'm a grandma. So I'm like, I'm her aunt. And she's like, what? I don't even know how to say that because it'd be weird. Oh, these are our grandkids and my ex-husband's child. I don't even know. People think it's weird, but I hope that becomes more normal. You know, we talked about before. I want to get her on the show. Nikki DeBartolo also has a book about that. And I think we can do divorce differently if it, you know, in fact, has to happen. And it's not always easy. We've gone through a lot over the years. I joke, I'm like, oh my God, we almost got divorced 867 times. But we're still together, and that friendship, I think, has helped us a lot.
Well, I think whenever you get together with somebody with a blended family, it's difficult. I mean, it's hard on her, and sometimes it's hard on me. But, you know, Emily, who you've had on the show, was in pull-up diapers when we first met. So I feel like she's like my daughter, and same with Adam. They're very young. And, of course, Stephen, Troy, and Christopher, you know, had to, you know, try to accept Julie, and she was very loving, and, you know, love wins out. In my opinion.
At the end.
Love wins
don't give up. Even if they push you away, I'm like, okay, I'm still here.
And it was difficult, but we made it, and that, you know, our lives are probably not that unusual from anybody else's, and that combined with our business. I mean, and when we got married, we didn't really have money to even have a ceremony. We had to borrow it from
we don't have wedding photos. We had no wedding photographer, and
from the couple who has all the jewels and everything at that time.
No, there's no.
We almost became a furniture business.
Courtside Grill did our food. Yeah, the furniture business for a while was doing a little bit better than the jewelry store, and the jewelry store was doing better. So we cleared out some of the jewelry cases and put furniture in there. And then the crash hit, and I lost all my clients that were buying furniture. The 30-year-olds that had 60 houses that were buying, that all went away. That bubble burst. So it was a very different time, but we couldn't afford to get married in the Don Cesar, so we were going to get married out. We got married outside on the steps. Courtside Grill catered the food. We had friends that like pitched in different things, like flowers and stuff like that. But we don't have a wedding album and stuff. So my daughter, who you know, was brave enough to break off her engagement, which I'm glad she did. But when she was going to get married, we were going to do it in the Don Cesar. I'm like, I worked so hard. I'm like, my daughter's getting married inside the Don Cesar. So we ended up having a big fun party there instead. But yeah, we've had success together, not had success, and it's adjustment how we interact with each other and how we handle it. And we always say, like, the true measure of someone's character is not failure, it's success. Because that's when you kind of can be cocky and be a jerk, and you know what I mean, and you got to make sure you don't do that. Don't forget, you know, who helped you get there or where you came from. And I think, you know, it's been a crazy ride for both of us, and it's not always smooth. And trust me, one thing that's good is we had that bond with our company and our kids and everything. So it's just like, even when we get mad and I'm like, oh, I'm getting out of here, you know, you're like, I can't. We walk by a couple on the street that's like, hey, I love you guys and your marriage and your kids. And we're like, oh.
And the community is so gracious to us.
Yeah, and they're good and supportive of us.
Say things to us all the time. It's wonderful, really.
It's like they almost know when to say it, and it reminds us how important our marriage is.
Well, you know, it's refreshing, honestly, to hear your honesty, right? Because a lot of people would take a look at the two of you and say, oh my gosh, you know, they have everything. Of course, they're great. But to hear that, hey, we've gone through.
Oh, yeah.
We've gone through things too.
Absolutely.
But let me go back just a little bit. So you'd been friends for 9 years. When did the light switch go on? Who made the first move?
Me.
Oh, do tell.
Yes, I mean, Julie actually tried to leave the country to get away from me. She was going through, and it had nothing to do with me or anything else. We weren't seeing each other. We always stayed friends through the whole thing, but she was going through a divorce, and I was going through a divorce. Mine was almost over. Hers was just kind of in the middle of it. So, and I just knew that, you know, I think that Julie knew. She didn't admit it.
I could feel it, but I was like, oh God, my most dysfunctional friend.
So her instinct was to dysfunctional
leave the country.
It was to leave the country.
Wait a minute. Okay, because in your heart, you were feeling like, okay,
I had fallen in love with my best friend.
Oh,
but he was also my most dysfunctional best friend.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, Oh, Jesus, you know. So, you know, you can't.
Well, she knew what she was getting into. Let's put it that way. And I think
she told me everything.
Listen, I think a lot of people, the problem that a lot of marriages don't work is they don't know each other when they go into it.
Yeah.
They don't know.
Yeah.
And if you don't, when you marry somebody, this is my opinion, when you marry somebody, you got to accept them for who they are. Because if you think that you're going to change them, it's never going to work.
It's never going to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
They are not going to change. So you have to accept them exactly the way they are. And me and Julie, we knew each other. We knew exactly who we were.
That's why I left
no
the country.
pretenses.
So you, right.
Well, Julie's from England. Let me set it up. Julie's from England. So we went on a date, and it was wonderful. But she just thought that, you know, here I am going through a divorce. I have 2 children. What am I doing with my best friend? And blah, blah, blah. And so she goes, I'm going to visit my family in England. So she ran off to England. And then, of course, we spent the whole night on the phone, overseas call.
And I thought, oh, I didn't plan that until I might as well be in the country. Like, I fled the country, but
you fled
I forgot about cell phones.
We say fled the country.
I'm being dramatic.
Right, but you were scared, though. You were scared.
I was scared.
You were scared, and so you said, okay, I'm going to go.
I put like a whole ocean between us that would solve it, but it didn't. I think we had a connection, and you know, I'm thankful for it today, but at the time, you know, I was nervous, like, well, you know, if this was going to be a good idea. And my dad always really liked him a lot, but not for me as my husband. So my parents were like, what the?
He wasn't crazy about us getting.
Yeah, and then when you first told me you loved you, I was so awkward. I'd never dated. Like, my ex-husband, Brian, I left my mom's house at 18, and my family was very traditional. So one thing that's been difficult for me trying to help my daughter is, like, I would always date with intention, like, we were like, you were not allowed to sleep around. You were supposed to, you know, get married, and you're not supposed to be with anyone intimately unless you're marrying them, or there should be a marriage proposal or something. So I left my mom's house at 18 and married my ex-husband at 20. So I'd always been married. I'd not even been single or dated. So I was really awkward, honestly. Like, and remember the first time you told me you loved me, I'm sure I felt that I loved him too. But what did I say? I said something weird.
You said thank you.
I said thank you. It was okay. I wasn't expecting that response.
Like, I love you.
All right, I'll take it.
He said, I was like, thank you. You know, I was very like awkward and weird. So I don't know. But we ended up together, and
how long did that take? How long do you guys think it took for you guys? Like, so you go.
Well,
a year and a half.
Our first date, I think, was on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Really, first real official date, and we were married in. Was it a year later?
Probably a year and a half later, something close to that. I had 2 kids too, and my mom was British. My ex-stepmom, who's actually a really not very nice person, but she was an ex-nun on top of being not really. So the pressure and the ridicule was really strong. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm a single mom now with 2 kids. Like, I did not want to get divorced. It was the last thing I wanted. I tried to put, I think, 13 years into that. And now Brian and I are still good friends. He's like a brother to me, and we have a great relationship and raise our kids together. But I was really freaked out that I was a single mom with 2 kids, and I didn't want to say, oh, my boyfriend's coming to pick up the kids. So I was just like, you know, I expected that we would be getting married pretty quickly, and I think we did within a year and a half.
I would have married her right away.
Yeah.
You would have. So they say, Steve, they say that men know.
Yeah.
Like, so you knew immediately.
I knew right away.
Really?
Yes, I did, absolutely. And I think Julie was in shock for about a year over the whole thing. But, you know, real love always wins out. You know, it really does. Yeah. And it was also very important to Julie and to me how we would interact with our children. I mean,
and blend them together.
I learned early on that when I asked if they could pick up their socks in the living room, that she pretty much told me, if you don't like the socks in the living room, we're going to pack our stuff and leave. You got to get used to it. So I knew. So, and you know, it was natural, though. I fell in love with Adam and Emily at an early age, and I felt like they were meant to be my kids.
And I give him credit for that, because his kids are grown. Like, now my kids are grown, and my ex-husband and his wife, she's younger, and they have a child together. I'm like, oh my gosh. So now I give him credit. Like, his kids were gone out of the house, except for Christopher, who was 9. Mm-hmm. So it was great. I got a little more time to bond with him and be a parent with him as well. But
he was a little older still at 9.
He was still at 9,
and
yeah.
And
he was in there all the time. So then here we come on little ones. So there's socks and toys and stuff. He has to, like, go back to all that. And I'm like, this is kind of how it is when you have like a 3 and 4 year old or 4 and 5 year old. Like there's going to be stuff, so you need to know like that's going to be happening for a while. So, you know, it's just an adjustment. So I give him credit for that, because then he helped me take the kids to school every morning all those years all over again. So he took his kids to school all those years, and he kind of had to start over and take my kids to school all those years. So
and throw in the business.
Yeah.
I mean, we rode to work every day for how many years? I mean, we were business partners. We are business partners.
Yeah.
And that's also difficult, you know, because me and Julie are a lot alike. We're kind of type A personalities.
Yeah.
You know, we butt heads now and then, but you know, we got through it. It was we've built when we first started. In the jewelry business, we decided we were going to make a go of that, and it was in 2006, I think, that we decided that. We had, what, 10 people, 10 employees?
And that was right before the whole real estate,
yeah. And then we lost 60% of our customer base, but you know, we made it through, we persevered, and we actually had meteoric growth, and it was incredible. But it's not easy being married to your business partner. It's not.
I know you guys have so many different layers. Honestly,
we do.
like everything.
But we just learned to have respect for his important role in the company and running it, and him to have respect for my role. Like, he couldn't do my job, I couldn't do his job. You know, once you just find like respect, our jobs are a little different. I'm not doing the same thing you're doing, and he's not doing what I'm doing. Once we had more respect for each other's role in the company, I think that helped us a lot. We had to learn, you know, as we go. And it's not always easy. I think it's better working together. I was just talking to someone recently, I don't remember where I was, on that trip. We went to Amangiri. He took me that for our anniversary gift, which was amazing resort in the middle of nowhere in Utah, Amangiri. And another couple worked together, and they were saying, I think it's easier working together. And I do, to some regard, because we know what each other's day was like. And when couples work in different businesses, or one stays home and one doesn't, you come home and you're like, what did you do? Nobody knows what the other person's day was like, and they're not as understanding about what happened. So I think that it's kind of a blessing in a way that we work together, because we don't have to be like, you don't know, we know.
And we've built a tremendous business. We had 10 employees, I think, if that, 8 to 10. And we have over 72 employees now.
Congratulations, wonderful.
We're probably in the top 3 highest volume jewelers in the country now. But let me.
Did you guys hear that? Top 3 in the country.
Top 3.
Yeah. Congratulations.
But I will say
well
this.
deserved.
I will say this, that you know, you create your own luck. But we have been so fortunate in the people that we've hired and brought into our company.
Yeah.
I mean, we have so many great employees and staff members that are just like us, and
they truly are.
Eagles.
Whenever I go into the store, I mean, it feels like a family member is greeting you. And it's a wonderful experience.
I don't know how we found them. I really don't know how we found them.
I know how we found them.
But I think you attract like things, attract like people.
Absolutely.
And we've been so fortunate that, I mean, and we have a whole melting pot. We have every nationality from every country, every color, skin of color, everything.
Religion,
and we all seem to
have it
get
all.
along.
And everybody gets along. Like, there could be world peace. Like, we're all working in a small environment. We have Jehovah's Witness, Muslim, Christian, Catholic, like everything in our store, and Jewish. I have like a sign that says hate-free zone, and I think it's great that our staff, like Italian people share their food, the Greeks, the Syrians, the Americans, the British, the Indian. Well, I mean, we all share food and enjoy each other's culture, and I think it's a beautiful thing. And I tell people, you know, if you don't like getting along with others, this is probably not the place for you to work. If you like to go to work and do as little as you can possibly do and skate out, we're not the place for you. And there's some great people who have not made it with our company. And I'm just like, we're just not for you. We hired 4 people from Tiffany & Company, 4.
Wow.
And only 1 made it. The other 3 were super nice and good on their own thing, but I couldn't even have them do anything in the company because we have a very different thing, and our standards are so high. And it would have taken me years to untrain a lot of the different habits that we don't utilize in our company.
We have a philosophy that it doesn't matter if you come in and you're spending $50 in our store or $500,000. They're treated the same.
Yes.
And not every salesperson can do that. And all of ours are trained to do that. And that's the kind that we want. We we love all our clients. It's nothing. Listen, we have a great job, and we get to go out, and this would be a great show for you coming on a Saturday and doing Love in America there.
I would. Okay, thank you for saying that, because one of my dreams. Let's put it out in the universe. Let's manifest. Let us manifest. I want to take Love in America on the road, and I want to do it at the Golden Diamond.
It would be.
We would have to air it much later, because the only thing is, like, sometimes we're so busy and it's so amazing. And I want to share like what it looks like when a whole bridal salon is full of couples, but if it's a surprise engagement, we can't air that show.
You only do it when they're there together.
When they're there together.
Do you love how we're strategizing and how we're manifesting Love in America?
But you know what? I mean, people say, do you go out and eat? You know, when I have a salesperson come back and says, Steve, that we just had a client purchase a diamond engagement ring. They'd love to meet you. Will you say hi? I stop what I'm doing, not because it's my job or I have to, but I genuinely enjoy going out there. These people have traveled sometimes 2-3 hours to come see us, and they share their experience. And I feel like I'm part of the whole thing. It's like delivering somebody's baby. They never forget you.
We're auditioning to be their family jeweler.
Yes, and
we're auditioning to be there. We don't sell stuff. We audition to get the honor to be chosen as those people's family jeweler, you know. So.
And it really is a wonderful business. It's an honor. Our clients are everything to us. So, yes, so when I get the opportunity to go out and say hi to people, I do. And Julie's always out on the sales floor meeting people and everything else. So, but it's a wonderful business, and we've built and we didn't do it alone, Sarina. This is not a Steve and Julie act. I mean, we're at the helm, but we've had so many people that have come into our lives. We have 3 Syrian girls that are just amazing. They're one of the top 3 salespeople in the country. Wow. And I don't know how we all got together, but we did. And we have, there's Maze, Ola, and Hala. There's Pat Kelly. There's Jason. There's my son, Troy.
Joe
Christopher.
Navarro.
Joe Navarro.
We have so many.
People from New York City. People from Tennessee. People from wherever. England. We have a greeter at the door that's English.
British, yeah.
So it just all has come together for us. I think God has destiny, a plan for all of us. And we've just been fortunate enough to live the dream, really. And people say, well, you guys do so much in the community. And we don't even think of it that way. We think, you know, yeah, I guess we do, but
it's just part of our culture now. We don't even think about it that way.
We have, at any given time, 20, 30 pieces going out to different charities all the time.
All the time. And you know, I was at Southampton Dermatology this morning, business, and Jim Flynn, his wife is the doctor, Dr. Linda Flynn. They're wonderful. And I said that you guys were coming on the show, and he said they are the most generous couple. And he said, I want you to tell them that for any of your charities, if you need something from them, because they support you, they would like to donate to Hands Across the Bay. So whenever they want to give, Botox or chemical peels or whatever, but they want it, and they said they just set the example for so many people, and you guys do. You do it through action. You know, it's one thing to say something, and then it's to prove it. And Steve, with what you were just talking about how you will drop anything. I honestly was in the store getting jewelry repaired. It is kind of a funny story. I asked for Emily, and Julie was like her daughter. Julie was.
They're better friends than me. I told Emily this morning I'm going to see your friend.
So funny.
She comes to ask for Emily. I'm like, hey, Sarina, remember me?
Remember me?
Yeah. Her and Emily are cutting up.
Well, it's because we have a little special video we want to show you in a few minutes. But when I came in, you were just walking in, Steve, and you were clearly headed to the back because someone needed you. But there was a couple in there that stopped you, and they were going on a trip. They had gotten their engagement ring years and years ago, and he came in to upgrade and was sharing the story with you. And I remember thinking to myself, because as a journalist, there's tons of things going on, but I can always compartmentalize. Again, you didn't know these people, but you made them feel like, oh gosh, you took the time, you talked to them, and it was just a very sweet moment. I was thinking, this is why you guys are who you are.
And on your way out, you ran into reporters from another news station that were interviewing me about a domestic violence case. It's just, there's always so much going on.
It makes my day, to be honest with you. To go out and talk to these people and for them to share their love story with us and them to travel. I mean, they pass a lot of fine jewelry stores to get to our store. And they take the time to come in and for me to listen to their stories. This is wonderful. I mean, I feel feel really blessed that we have what we have. And, you know, I don't think it would have been possible unless me and Julie got together, because I think the two of us are a great team.
We make good partners.
But people ask all the time, well, how do you guys do? How do you stay together? How do you do this? And, you know, we've had our rough patches, certainly. But, you know, we're good enough friends. I think if you have a basis for a friendship, you can get through those tough times, you know, because marriage isn't all about the peripheral things like, you know, sex or you know, how somebody dresses or how they act around their friends. It's more than that. And I think that if you have a good foundation, and you can get through those times. And I'm just blessed that we're able to hang in there and do that. You know, we've built a great business. We have great children. We got 2 grandkids that we spend at least one day a week. I just got done seeing Hedgehog 2 at the movie theaters.
Would you recommend it?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I did. It was very good. It was very good. It was
give
just
them a plug.
It was just fun going to a movie theater. We haven't been to a movie theater.
That was only the second time in 3.5 years.
We're going to see Top Gun Saturday.
Okay, and I would highly recommend that too. Give a shout out to Tom Cruise and Top Gun. They did. I think it's.
Did they do?
I think it's better than the
We're
first
going
one.
Saturday night.
Okay, yeah, we'll have
You guys
to
will
check
love
it out.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys, when you were talking about that, 16 years ago when you proposed, Julie, were you surprised when he proposed?
Yeah, I was surprised. It did catch me off guard. We were having tea, and it was a very intimate, you know, thing, and so it was very nice. I was hoping that we were going to get married. Like, I kind of figured that would be happening at some point, but he definitely caught me off guard because we were just there sharing tea together, so it was very nice.
Did you plan that for a long time, Steve? Did you know you were going to propose at that moment?
Christmas Day, yeah.
Christmas Day.
Yeah, I knew. And we were alone, and we're very rarely alone. And we were
The kids were at their dad's, and then they were coming to our house. Like, we switched, you know, the days. We always have them on Christmas Day, but sometimes I have them in the morning. I think that morning he had them early in the morning.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
yeah.
I didn't know you were surprised. This is the first I'm hearing about it.
Yeah,
Really?
I didn't know I was going to be sitting and having tea, and that would happen.
See, this is why I love this show, because so many times you don't realize. Remember we were talking about before we even started that sometimes that you don't know. So let me ask you guys this too. Both of you, as you mentioned, were married, you know, before. You guys were friends, and then here you are, you find love. So would you say, if love is meant to be, and you are meant to be with a certain person, that it will, the universe will make it happen?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I would never have gotten, you know, gone through a divorce and then said, I'm going to go marry my most dysfunctional friends. I can guarantee that would be my first choice. So, but the universe, like, it was not going to not happen. So, you know, here we are. And I'm glad, because look what we've created together.
Yes, and there's many, many, many situations like that. And I don't think you can stop love. I really don't.
Yeah.
However, I think in order to stay together, it requires work and more, and tolerance and love, and sometimes just being quiet.
Yeah, Steve. No, just kidding.
Well, Steve, though, okay, so you did mention something, okay, about do you think you can help fall in love with the person you're supposed to be falling in love with, or can you stop falling in love with somebody?
No, I think we were destined.
Even if you leave the country.
We were destined to be together. But, you know, love is only part of a long-term marriage. I mean, the romantic love I'm talking about, okay? We will always love each other. I mean, how could we not? Everything that we've gone through. But I think it takes more than that. It takes, you know, it takes tolerance and love.
Friendship, and being able to give a break. Like, even if we got annoyed with each other and we were frustrated, weren't having a good time, we gave each other space. Like, I'd hang out with my kids, you know, for a while and do stuff like that. We gave each other room to breathe. If you don't do that, you know, there's that song, you know, hold on loosely, but don't let go. He says it reminds of us. You know, we give each other a break sometimes, so then we can not let go. If we would have taken a stranglehold when someone's like, whoa, I need a break, I'm not sure if I can do this anymore. You know, if he felt that way or I felt that way, we gave each other some space. And I think that's enabled us to keep our marriage together. Sometimes what people do is they get a stranglehold and be like, you're going to stay here and where are you? You know, and it's like a really tough thing. And I think if you give people a little space, like that song says, hold on loosely and don't let go, that's how we're still here.
Yeah, 38 Special.
38 Special. Okay,
Yes.
we're going to have to.
It's a great song.
Yeah.
And you heard it the other day, and I always think about that song too, and he said, this reminds me of us. And I said, that's a great concept, because I think if we didn't both apply that, we probably wouldn't still be together. So people think, oh, if I don't get a death grip, if you do that, you could force that person's hand, you know, to make a decision that's permanent to a temporary problem.
It's like if you love them, let them go, and if it's meant to
take
be,
a little,
take a little break.
Give them a little breath to grow. People grow and change, and they're kind of different as they grow older, and you have to get to know each other in your different space and stuff like that. So.
And I think the friendship part of it is good. I think me and Julie had an unusual relationship because we were good friends for 9 years, and you know, it's not like we just met and fell in love, and you know, the ether kicks in, and after the ether wears off, and it will wear off. Okay, it does wear off.
What are you saying? Is the ether worn off? No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
This is going to be a whole nother discussion.
And there has to be more substance after that happens. You know, I really believe that. And in order for somebody to stay together for all those years, and not only just stay together, but have a loving
relationship,
yes.
marriage.
You know, a lot of people stay together and they really don't love each other.
You have to make the person coffee in the morning.
I make her coffee and tea every single day. And I greet her with my queen.
Yes.
Do you really?
He says it every morning. And I just make I sound like a dinosaur. What is that noise I make when I wake up? Because he's usually up before me. I wake up pretty early, but he wakes up at like 4 in the morning. I don't know what is happening. But I'll just make a weird noise. What is a noise I make? I make like it sounds like a dinosaur. And he's like, okay.
I know it's time
I'm
for
like,
our coffee.
I don't know what kind of noise I make. And then he knows I'm awake. And then he brings my coffee.
Yeah. So it's little things, you know, that make a difference. And I think that, but the family, the whole family was very important. There's so many different aspects, I think, of a successful marriage. If you're just talking about love, I mean, people fall in love all the time, but that doesn't mean it's going to last.
And it's not easy. You got to have boundaries and things like that. We had, you know, had a blended family, and my stepchildren's moms are completely different than me. You know, not in a worse way or better way. We're, you know, equal, but they are really, really cool with everything, and I'm very not cool with anything. I'm very strict. So I didn't get to be like the cool stepmom. I had like a lot of like, you can't do this, you have to do this. Yeah, you know what I mean? And that was tough, because I couldn't just be like, right on, you know, because I had to do a lot of that
because it wasn't your personality to do that. Right?
No, and I didn't want to watch them walk off a cliff. I'm like, yeah, keep going, walk off the cliff. I'm like, no, I'd grab them by the shirt and pull them back. And a lot of times they're like, hey, who are you, lady? And I'm like, I'm your stepmom. Turn your rear end around. That's who I am. And I don't, probably at times they were probably like, you know, frustrated, or, you know, why aren't you not cool? Why aren't you my buddy? Why aren't you my friend? I'm like, you have plenty of friends. I'm not your friend. I'm your parent. But I think as I've grown older, they appreciate it more. You know what I mean? And now it's like a funny thing. But at the time, it's tough. A blended family is not easy, because parents are different. Their style of parenting are different. Not that one's better than the other. You know, we all have our different styles, but it takes a village. I think it takes a group of people to, you know, hey, you tell them this and I'll take care of this. It takes a village, and you have to blend your families, and, you know, it's not always easy, but it's worth it.
Well, I have to say, I mean, we've had, I so appreciate all of your honesty too, and sharing your story, because we've had so many people guest on the show, and they have a Gold and Diamond Source connection, and to hear from the two of you, your story. I want to share a clip though now. Yes. I don't know. So we have 2 clips that we want to share, but we'll go to one clip and then we'll come back on set and then we'll go to the other clip. But so again, we've had many, many couples on here that, you know, have Gold and Diamond Source rings, and some of them have had, it's been the first go around, but there's a few that it's like,
Number 2,
hey honey,
3.
it's time for the upgrade, or oh, the Gold and Diamond Source is only like 2 miles from the studio.
Yeah, oh God,
there we go over. So I want the crew to pull up the video of Jeff and Jean Duncan. I think this is so cute. What a pleasure to have you both on. Any last minute thoughts?
I just want to thank Jeff for the 3rd ring upgrade he's given me.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad.
Gold and Diamond Source.
Okay, yes. Okay, wait, listen. Thank goodness you mentioned this. Look at this ring. Look at this ring. Okay, from the Gold and Diamond Source, and this is the 3rd upgrade.
Yes. So upgrades are very important in a marriage,
The advice I give to new marriages, start out very low on the ring, because it's going to get upgraded.
You know,
You're so
That's
cute.
awesome.
And do you know who Jean Duncan is? She is Jean Duncan.
I know that name.
She's the head of transportation for the city of Tampa.
Okay,
the
yes,
woman
yeah.
is a rock star.
That's
Okay, so
awesome. That's awesome.
And she's an engineer by background, right? So she said it was a second marriage for both of them.
Yeah.
They also, it's so cute. And she said, listen, she had a plan that she was expecting him to propose within a year.
Yeah.
And what was the deal that he had not, had not proposed? And she said, I was going to give him some time, but he came back with the first gold and diamond source ring. Then you saw, as you see, the third upgrade.
That's
and
awesome.
after they left the studio, they were going on a date, but stopping at the gold and diamond source.
That's awesome.
we have people come in with appraisals from 1984, the original when we opened the first store, that have upgraded 5 or 6, 7, 8 times. So that's always interesting to hear their stories. So
you know what? Speaking of that, I want to give you guys a plug for that though too, because your appraisal, what you guys do for appraisals, is very generous and unique from any other jewelry store because you give the full value.
Yes, which is, a lot of people say they do it, but there's a lot of fine print. You have to wait a year. You have to spend 120%. You have to spend twice as much. There's always a way to get out of it because historically, jewelry stores made a lot of money when you do want an upgrade or a different shape and you get pennies on the dollar and have to start all over. So at Gold and Diamond Stores, we were one of the first ones that you get full value for whatever you spend on your diamond, your Gold and Diamond Stores diamond, if it's a pendant or earrings.
we call it a diamond savings account.
The diamond savings account, and you just pay the difference between whatever you're getting and whatever you had, and there's no.
Don't you wish that worked like that with cars?
Imagine driving a car,
boats.
boats or anything else. You get what you know.
Fortunately for us, the diamond business has been good over the years. I've been in it for over 40 years, so we can afford to do that. And
customer loyalty. Like, why would anybody ever go anywhere else? It wouldn't even make sense.
Well, we don't look at one sale is the end all for us. It's just the beginning for us, you know. So, we have generations of people that have shopped with us.
Their kids now, which is so
I
cool.
know, and the being the family jeweler, right?
Yeah.
So the other video that we want to share is Sammy my daughter just turned 15.
Yeah.
And Emily, your daughter.
Yeah.
Of course, I just gravitate toward that girl, and we share her commercials on the show.
Yes,
she started, the Emily.
She adores you.
Oh, I adore her.
I'm like, where are you going? She's like, I'm going to brunch with Sarina.
I know.
I'm like, wasn't she my friend? I don't know what happened. But I don't blame you. Emily is a pretty cool girl. She's got an old soul.
She does have an old soul. And I feel like, my daughter also, has an old soul. And they connected. But as a special birthday present for Sammy, her birthday was in May 23rd. We decided to bring her in to the Gold and Diamond Source and pick out a piece of jewelry from Emily to start her out as the first generation. Now, before we show the video, there is a caveat. Julie and Steve have been very nice about this, but please forgive the girls' clothing. Like
they're teenagers shopping. There's nothing wrong with their clothes. They're like teenagers in T-shirts and shorts shopping.
You could come into our store dressed however you like.
When we're off, we don't dress up. I mean, they're just teenagers shopping. They look great.
And I'm sure she's going to be horrified that I even mentioned that. But I just had.
No, she's like Sammy, you are A-okay, Sammy. You looked amazing. You look like a normal teenager out shopping for your birthday present.
Yes.
And don't listen to mom.
and we loved it. So let's share the video of her coming into the.
So I'm thinking second hole piercing, do you agree? Emily is a perfect jewelry line for anyone that's younger, especially Sammy. She's just in high school, and girls want to wear fun jewelry, want to be able to go to the beach and wear it and not tarnish and turn their skin green. And I think that's why this jewelry line is just so perfect for that age range, because they're able to add on those pieces. They know they're always taken care of, and that's what we try to do here at the Gold and Diamond Source. We want to get you established, start you off on life right.
We are so proud of Emily and her line. I mean, she was right. We had an element that we were missing.
Such a beautiful thing about Emily, because you can get things at such a low price point, from $100 to $1,000.
It's an honor to be people's family jeweler.
Let's do a little swap.
It really means a lot to us.
Well, it meant the world to Sammy, and what Sammy picked out, I hope we have the picture, because it is beautiful. Her two little friends helped her pick it out, and it was 2 little gold hoops.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was
awesome.
great.
We've done really good with Emily's line. I mean, it really, listen, we're here, when we see young people come in our store, we love it because we know they'll be customers for life, you know? And we just don't look at that one purchase. Certainly a $100 piece that we sell is not going to, you know, pay our mortgage in Park City, but it creates a customer and a client. And, you know, we
get established as their family jeweler, so later as they grow and get older and they think, hey, this is my family jeweler.
Because we did hear a lot
which
of people
is great.
saying, well, we've seen your
can't
store,
afford
we
to
can't
shop
afford
there.
to come in there. And then that's
And I
not
was like,
true.
oh,
Anybody
yeah.
can afford to
Yeah.
shop with us. And anyhow, we're really proud of what Emily's done in her line, and she's an amazing entrepreneur. We're very proud.
I know, we are so proud of you guys too. And so Beth just said to me in my ear to mention the earrings again, to show, here's what Sammy chose.
Awesome.
They're so beautiful.
Cool.
They're so beautiful. And you're right, there is something in there for anybody.
Yeah.
You know, and for her to get started, she was being a teenager, too embarrassed to put them on once, you know, she got them.
Why are teenagers always embarrassed?
I don't
They are
know.
always embarrassed. Emily was like that too. I think she's still like that. She was going to introduce him to her friend. She's like, don't say that, Mom.
Speaking of earrings, I was hoping that I had for our anniversary gift, I had a pair of earrings being made. And I thought they were going to come in this morning, but they didn't. So we'll follow up on social media and show you.
Please follow up, but show everybody your ring. Talk about an upgrade.
This is beautiful.
This was a surprise. This was a surprise,
Now,
right?
Yes.
This was done on our anniversary of our first date, which was Thanksgiving Day, November, 18 years ago. And
It is beautiful.
what I did was, this was a total surprise. Julie did not know this was happening.
Yes.
I called her out on the showroom floor. We had couples out there, everything else, and everybody turned and looked, and I got on my knees, or one knee, and I asked her, I said, would you marry me all over again?
Oh, God.
So I did it in front of a bunch of people in the staff, so she could not say no. Okay, and I think we showed that on social media. Too. I don't know.
We have some videos of it, but it was this ring is like unbelievable.
But she was shocked. I did surprise her on that one. So.
And look at that! It surprised you at the engagement.
And I got matching earrings, and they didn't come in today.
Well, we have to do a follow-up show and invite you guys back. And my ring, of course,
so beautiful.
This you presented to me on the air. My ring, because I had sadly some of my jewelry stolen, a lot of my jewelry stolen. So this is a gold and diamond source gift.
Yeah, I think Adam picked the stone for you.
Adam
Beautiful.
picked the stone. So,
awesome.
Guys, I cannot even thank you enough, and I certainly hope, of course, you're going to come back.
Yes, absolutely.
And
why not?
Thank you for helping us share love stories.
Absolutely, we're happy to. That's what we're all about. We're in the love business, and that's the fun part of our work.
Love is all you need.
Yeah.
Love is all you need.
Doing the hands across the bay stuff is a very unglamorous side of my work. So whenever I get to walk out on the floor and see people happily shopping for jewelry, it's great.
And you have success written all over you, Sarina. You're
Yes.
going to do just fine, and we're very proud of you and happy to help.
Yeah.
Be part of it.
Oh my gosh, thank you guys so much.
You're welcome.
We love you.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Guys, if you have a story that you would like to share, please reach out to us. Reach out, email sfnteam@sarinafazan.tv. We'd love to share it. You can also share it on the multi-social media platforms that we have. As you can see, we're everywhere, and we're also on Roku. Julie and Steve Weintraub, again, honor and privilege to have you here, and thank you again for sponsoring Love in America.
Absolutely.
Welcome. Our pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Stay safe, everybody. Bye.
Gems with Them has allowed us to show you the beautiful birthstones that make perfect gifts.
This month's birthstones for June are Alexandrite, Moonstone, and Pearl.
It's a great gift to give someone you care about. Come to the Gold and Diamond Source or visit us on social media to learn more.